Hello and welcome to Clogsports, your ultimate and #1 sports show in the nation. My name is Nanaya Asari. As always, it's a pleasure to come to your homes, to come on your screens, to come on your phones to bring you the best in the world of sports. Today we have an exciting feature for you coming on to our show. We have Banty B all the way repping in the studios, and we'll get into it later on. But let me introduce you to my regular panelists or partners in sports, as I usually call them, on the show. I'm talking about Champion Benito, the champion of champions, and also Isaac Opoku, aka the landlord of Ghana football. Guys, it's a wonderful Wednesday.
Fantastic by all standards.
Yes. How is it going?
Oh, God is good and God has been faithful. I'm fine.
Benito.
Yes, sir.
The man who chooses his words very carefully.
Oh, yes.
What's going on with you?
Oh, God has been very good, and as usual, God is still the greatest. We're still on. It's good to be back on the air.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, we have wonderful feature in today's episode. So our viewers and our listeners should just stick and stay with us. I usually say that you sit back and enjoy the best of moment within the sporting discipline or the sporting ecosystem. So we are back again.
We're back again. You actually mentioned something that it's been a very long time since you actually did, and I'm happy you did. Your brother landlord, isn't it?
Oh, me, sir, we are still brothers, you see, and then he had wanted to fight problems for himself because he knows that whenever he makes certain moves and I am not with him, problems for him. So, on one and a penny was but on one who said right after disowning me on this platform,
on this big platform,
yes, he made a move and failed. No, who said that?
Want me call without me?
Yes, he can't do without me, and so he needed to come back, apologize. In fact, I didn't pay you for on the patch. Well, we are still brothers.
In that same regard, will we see the NSA also taking up an apology or giving an apology to Galka for the change of venue, and then because Galka has actually expressed disappointment to the NSA for the change of venue. Initially, the Galka Top 4 tournament has been brought back and then was scheduled to take place at the Bayara Sports Stadium, but unfortunately we couldn't have it done, and now it's being taken place at the Accra Sports Stadium. Today is the first day that it's actually starting, and it's going to be commencing today. Excited matchups coming into play. But let's talk about the NSA and then the Galka issue that's happening at the moment. Let me find out your take, Benito.
And as usual, very good afternoon to our viewers, and then we appreciate their effort. Ghana League Club Association, Galka. I am highly disappointed in them. I wouldn't blame the National Sports Authority.
You are disappointed in Galka?
In Galka, yes. And as and when I build my point, you probably get to understand.
Yes, but then the opening statement is you are disappointed in Galka.
In fact, I am highly disappointed in the Ghana League Club Association. In this case, their authorities and their managers. My reasons are: one, Galka is now portraying as though they do not know their mandate or their responsibility. Because gone are the days when we talk of Galka competitions, it was becoming even a competition tougher and more exciting than the Ghana Premier League, because we used to have the Galka Top 4 and the likes, but they lost track on how they have to carry themselves, because within this period you shouldn't be given the opportunity or the chance to the National Sports Authority to be deciding venues for you. I will come to the issue of the National Sports Authority, but at this point in time, Galka isn't that powerful as we used to know or as we used to see. That is why I'm saying that I am highly disappointed in them. For them to lose that aura around them that made them powerful. That is why I said that they gave the National Sports Authority the right and the room for all these happenings. You see why the top 4 isn't getting that important mileage? It is because Galka remained dormant and they acted as if nothing was at stake. In recent times, in about the last 7-8 years, Galka have been known of organizing presidential cups.
Yeah.
Other than the top 4, the top 5, the top 6.
I remember clearly.
Yes.
Clearly.
Of which that top 5 or top 4 was. I will use was because in this material movement, it isn't that powerful.
Yeah.
That top 4 was the main competition for Galka.
Yeah.
But in the last 8 years, they've prioritized organizing presidential cup than their main competition.
I remember Galka top 4 because I was deeply, albeit I was very young at the time, I was deeply involved when it comes to the running of affairs of Birkum Arsenal.
Yeah.
I used to follow my dad to the stadium and all the time. And Galka top 4, I remember there was a year that Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Accra to Folk, Accra Great Olympics, and then Birkum Arsenal were the ones in the top 4. And the aura around the tournament alone, it was taking place at the Clogsports Stadium. Mainly, this is either 2005 or 2006, thereabouts. And when you look at the number of people that come to the stadium to witness the gala, which is usually a 30-minute match,
exactly.
and that goes on, and you look at how it has actually sunk and fallen, the kind of aura that was around the tournaments, the kind of grace that it carried, is no longer the same. Talking about how Galka has gone quiet and gone dead. We know Galka has a website, galka.org.
Yeah.
And
is it working?
For some time. I
don't remember the last time.
To go and visit galka.org, the opening page will be about a product from China at the moment. Let me check how it's gone. When you look for galka.org, where we all felt that Galka, they say, is for Ghanaian league clubs and it's for every club, not for any other single club. Now, when you visit their website, it's even non-existent. This is how far the mighty has fallen. Galka, in all its glory, in all its aura that it carried. I mean, before the season began, everybody was some years back anticipates the Galka top 4. That was the main attraction, you know, where Hearts and Kotoko will play, where Kumasi Kim Faisal, where Birkum Arsenal and the teams, Heart of Lions, that made the top 4.
Within those period, yes.
These are the periods that you see the players matching up from the tunnels and all that, and you realize the kind of grace that this particular tournament carried. The kind of just football match for 30 minutes. You see the number of people that will troop in at the stadium, and right now, that is not the case.
So
have you seen their website?
Yes.
It's about a product
I don't know,
from
but
China.
it's like data China something and where's in Swahili.
So I learned
Is it Swahili?
So maybe I can help
Oh,
you
my
with
friend, give us a break. But on a more serious note, I still think and believe that with all these instances you've indicated, backs my assertion that I am disappointed in them. I have these reservations. Probably under the new administration, Galka will take new directions. But anyway, there is this thing I have in me that the beginnings of everything, in most cases, determines the outcome. It's about 5 or 4 months since Mr. Jonansa and the new team took over from the then Galka president in Kudofian. Agreed. Within that administration, there were a whole lot of distortions in their dealings. But then, after organizing the Presidential Cup, which was one of the most successful competitions Galka has organized since the last 20 years, that is, in my opinion, if your main or your topmost competition in the top 4 is being organized, we've seen graphics of their communiques and everything. So I had the anticipation how this year's top 4 would be. But see, the back and forth today we'll be playing at the Baba Yara Stadium. Tomorrow a new communique comes up. It will be played at the Clogsports Stadium. The next day you will see a communique, venues changing and here and there. If you are into the Galka top 4, at this point you've been left in suspense. You've been left in limbo as to how and when these matches will be played. That was why I said that I was highly, in fact, I am highly disappointed in this Galka team. Now onto the National Sports Authority.
I'm just before you come in here, they must have a part to play in this because they must have communicated something to Galka
in fact,
for them to
believe. That was where I was tackling.
Yes.
I know, and I'm privy to this information, and I can say on authority that they relayed every bit of information to the organizers of the top 4. I can say this categorically that why I do not blame the National Sports Authority that much is that they communicated to Galka that Accra Sports Stadium is being reserved for Black Stars World Cup qualifying match. They were aware. In fact, they are still aware.
That was the communique.
Yes. And I know this thing for a fact.
Which will be in 2 weeks' time, September
exactly.
4th.
And then in their initial communication, we all know that Accra Sports Stadium needs to go under renovation. That one we all know. And so if the stadium is reserved for Black Stars game, which will be in 2 weeks' time, it means that the renovation needs to be started earlier.
Yeah.
This is a simple calculation.
Yeah.
So in this instance, Galka knew from the onset that the Accra Sports Stadium wouldn't be able to hold the top 4. Why do you do that?
You make preparations for Baba Yara which earlier so that you at least meet the deadline.
In fact, the Baba Yara 2 was officially communicated that it will also be renovated. So in this case, Baba Yara and Accra Sports Stadium comes out of the equation.
Then you look at stadiums like
that is my point.
The University of Ghana.
I know that in about a month ago, Galka knew Accra Sports Stadium wouldn't be available. Baba Yara wouldn't be available. So the next option was the Legon Stadium, of which finally it has been the venue they resorted to. So my point and my problem is that after knowing this thing about a month ago, why didn't you communicate earlier that the top 4 will be played at the Legon Sports Stadium? You sat aloof, watched and live as if nothing was at stake. About 2 days ago, I don't make us a Legon Sports Stadium here. The marketing aspect.
And even with that, is it confirmed that it's going to be the Legon Stadium? Because
yes.
We are hearing that the Accra Sports Stadium is back in the limelight for the Galka Cup of competition.
That has been my problem. But then with the Legon Stadium, nothing is changing because within 3 p.m. the first game would kick off, and so I do not think that it will change. But my point is, for people that were enthused to be following the Galka top 4, how would they plan their things? Initially, it was to happen at Kumasi. It came to Accra Sports Stadium. Now at the Legon Sports Stadium. When people are scheduling their times and their things so that they can meet
you want to pledge
the demands
support
of the top 4.
You want to pledge media support. You want to pledge fans to come in.
Exactly.
And all that. But yet, just 2 days to your event, you don't even know where you are going to.
That is my problem. And at this point, it isn't the issue for fans alone. Even the clubs involved. You wouldn't know how to do your arrangement.
Yes, the turf you are going to play on, the kind of field you are going to get off it.
It's all no. But then at this point, Nana, let's let the truth be told. It brings our football image down. It affects our football negatively. Because and now Clock TV, it will be played at the Baba Yara Stadium. At the Chia, different information. Oh, you see a change of venue to the Accra Sports Stadium.
Your credibility is
it's even at stake.
Yeah.
So I do not think that a serious investor will invest in such a thing. Someone who isn't by a word and all that kind of the inconsistency in their words is becoming too much. Let's think and hope that with the preparation from the involving clubs would probably bring the ambience alive again and see how that game or that competition will unfold.
Landlord,
Nana,
let's hear from you too. The Buhara surrounding Galka expressing disappointment in the NSA.
all right. Nana, thank you very much. Let's greet our people watching us on Facebook and also Clog TV. We are very, very, very grateful for everything that they've been doing for us. And Nana, I think these days, when I come here, I just want to make things short because Benito have said it all. But I remember very well growing up Gaka. It was true Gaka top 4 that we had this term Yemobi. I stand to be corrected if it is true. Am I lying?
Yeah.
I have a personal affiliation to that particular incident. But
so Nana, Galka Top 4 was a tournament where teams who play second, third, and fourth get opportunity to compete with the first teams. Okay, watch the trophy now. Yes, who will get a chance to come and play in the top 4. Banana. For the past 6 years, I'm not sure say about top 4 Wukulumwada. When we play it, it's not up to the standard that we used to play years back. Yemobiem was a term used in this country for a very long time. Yemobiem. I was like, my dad was a person who sell magazines in the studio. So when he comes back, Yemobiem, I used to tease him because he was a Kotoko fan. And it was a very nice term and trendy in the country for a very long time. So now, for Gaka and NSC story, for me, landlord, I'm not surprised. Communication. It is one thing that is killing we human beings and Africans a lot. Communication. As Benito said, I'm sure Gaka knew that Accra Sports Stadium will not be available for them. But for Amfu, they were just saying so Accra Sports Stadium, just for people to get the excitement, for people to come around. And then when you see the Legon Sports Stadium, I saw a picture today. I don't know if it is true. Every stadium. Last week, Saturday, I was there. I went for a program at Legon and I was able to pass through the stadium. The stadium is bad. Kotoko, Gold Stars will be going to Africa, which they need a proper friendly matches to play. So having Accra folk in there is good for them. But the pitch is bad for them. Kotoko will be playing with teams who have better pitch outside Ghana. Gold Stars will be playing against teams who have better pitch. So if you are playing a pitch at UGMC, Legona, then it's not healthy for you. I could see a story trending that Baba Yara Sports Stadium was not approved for Kumasi Asante Kotoko for the CAF. So BBN Gold Stars and Kotoko will be using Accra Sports Stadium at the same time during the CAF Confederation and the CAF Champions League. Supporters-wise, it will be bad for both sides. Now, communication. We will always come and sit here. We will preach to the people. So we know about Accra Sports Stadium. We know about 2 days to the tournament. Gaka is saying we are going to UGMC, which is very bad. And then I have a very big question about this whole Gaka from Kujo Fiano time handing over to the new administration. And is it always possible say you have tournament, you have season and Gaka top 4? Because the preparation is very bad.
It's the UG Stadium, not the UGMC Stadium.
UG Stadium, God bless you. Their preparation is very bad, Nana. I'm surprised about Kotoko playing in this tournament. I'm sure because they need match fixedness to go into the CAF Confederation because I know Kotoko very well. Committee markers will not play. And then I stand to be corrected. There's been a Gaka top 4. So many things that said so they will not play. Yeah, I know Moshe. Because they feel like the preparation towards this Gaka and and then the pitch there, I will still say it's very bad. We all sit here and talk about this maintenance. And I remember very well that when we started this Legon Stadium, we were talking about maintenance. Look at the Legon Stadium where they bought African games. It has become bad. So the way forward for Gaka, I said, they should work hand in hand. They should work hand in hand. Next time, maybe next year, they should find a proper place for us to play this Gaka top 4.
All right, so a lot of Buhara surrounding the Galka top 4, and he made mention of the fact that the Yombobium incident happened. It happened in 2005.
I remember
Galka.
very well.
Yes, it was a game between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Heart of Lions in the 2005 Gal Cup Top 4 tournament, when in the 86th minute referee Lamptey awarded a penalty to Kumasi King Faisal. Accra Heart of Lions, and then if you remember, if I should mention the name, you get the affiliation. Jerry Asari walked onto the pitch, and then he was then called Shoshu.
Was that your father? Hey, then your father was in quote violent on the day.
Jerry Asari walked onto the pitch and carried the ball.
Yes. In fact, I am trying to relive the whole incident. Yes. I was at the stadium. I was at the stadium.
I remember exactly.
No, that was the time I was a boy. You could have the free. Say you are
watching. That's a question. But then at the Asari and the Asari, there is a connection.
Yes, I said there's an affiliation.
Social.
Yes. Then he was the Greater Accra representative for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Wow.
Yes, but then that's
no, but me
football.
Since those years, I still support the idea. Yes, because so one purchase a ball now. Yes, and can you see what would have been worse.
Yeah.
It is similar to the incident that happened at Inshuatre. If they had suspended the game, case that. So I still commend Shoshu, right? I still commend him.
Yes,
I still commend him. Yes,
it was quite a fierce one. Yeah, I remember that during halftime, referee Lamptey wasn't even allowed to enter the dressing room because of some of the things that actually happened on the game. The game started, and with Sadat Bukari opening the scoreline in the 46th minute, that's Heart of Lions, and the goal was equalized by Osei Kwame in the 73rd minute. Sadat Bukari was for Kotoko. He scored. The goal was equalized 73rd minute. But what seemed like an obvious offside goal, but then no one mentioned anything.
You know that this referee we're talking about, and as expose anybody know.
Yes.
That referee, you know.
Yes.
Indeed, I'm saying so and watch a ball and Kenya cry.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. It's been interesting there.
Yes.
What actually sparked the riot was in the 64th minute. The referee ignored an obvious penalty to Lions, and in order to perhaps compensate them, awarded them a dubious penalty in the 86th minute. So you realize that there were some inconsistencies in there. So when he awarded the penalty, he just went onto the pitch and carried the ball and took all the Kotoko players off, walked them off together with the officials.
And Nana, why one of my reasons that makes me passionate about this Gaka competition, I really remember in 2014, in that period, Tech Boy, but then I had started my internship at Otek FM. It was in 2015. They organized Gaka G6. It was G6, and then it was sponsored by an energy drink called FAP energy drink. And so I really remember, in fact, it was that competition that I should say light me on as a proper commentator within that period. And so imagine a competition that made the name Champion Benito sounded everywhere. Now, you should see how I feel for this tournament. But then Kotoko has arrived at the UGM Stadium, and so they
at the moment.
Yes, at the moment, 4 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yes, they arrived at the UGM Stadium.
As we're going on, you can give us the exclusive updates that's actually happening.
Yes. So nothing is changing. It's really coming on.
It's coming on.
All right. So then remember that we're also streaming live on Facebook. If you go Facebook and then you look for Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us live. You look for Clogsports, follow the page, and then add us, and we'll be able to view all the updates that we'll keep posting on there. As well, we are live on YouTube. Then go to YouTube, you search for Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us live. You can also send me your WhatsApp messages 0500500421. What do you remember about the famous Yebobium saga? Bring us your thoughts about Galka Top 4 competition, how it used to be, how you resonated with it, how much fun you've had with it before. And then let's go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we have more exciting features to discuss for you here on Clogsports. on that interesting note, we went for a short commercial break talking about the Yembobium. Say, we just also gave you exclusive. The Kumasi and Tikotoko are now live and present in the UG Stadium at Legon. They are there, and then they are getting into their bus has arrived. They'll warm up shortly. So I'm sure if you want exclusive details about what's going on, Champion Benito is here with us. You'll be updating us as time goes on, because he has some men on the ground that are giving us live reporting and live feed over there. A reminder that we're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. We're also there. If you search for Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us. So if you need to leave your Clock TV, you need to leave your TV sets, then you don't need to leave Clogsports at all. We'll get into it, guys. We've talked about. Let me just have your final comments about the NSA situation that's actually going on right now. UG is the venue for the Galka Top 4. And let me hear your comments on that briefly, landlord.
Now, quick one on the NSC. I don't know, Seminka said me too or move for there, but when it comes to Blaster, it's different. But when it comes to our league now, I don't see it different. I think I understand, or I know the Blaster is bigger than our league, but the more attention that they give
that's a very serious issue. Is Black Stars bigger than the Ghana Premier League?
No, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but with the leaders, all leaders and our portraits are doing. Well, now, Blaster is coming to play in September 4th. No, they'll be playing 8th.
4th.
4th is away. 4th is away.
Yeah, that is the away
then
game.
8th is at Accra Sports Stadium.
Exactly.
So I think the more attention on the Blaster when they are coming to play matches at Accra Sports Stadium, they should just give it to the likes of Accra Folk, Olympics, Monombo Yusu, Accra Sports Stadium. Right now, Kotoko is not having the stadium to play, so they will come back to Accra Sports Stadium. So if Blaster is come to play match 2 weeks ahead of what Kotoko is come to play CAF Confederation now, Kotoko have no option to go to other countries to go and play. I think they should also consider our club side, because now we need to find time for these people. And so I'm sure young Profoka Ankara is listening. It's just a stone through. So he's always watching us. So we should just see to us to the club side. Better stadium to play at this.
All right, so there you have it. Let's look into the fixtures for the Galka Top 4. We have Kumasi and Santi Kotoko playing against the BBN Gold Stars, which is going to be a very, very interesting one. BBN Gold Stars were the champions of the Ghana Premier League that just ended season. That's the 2024-2025 season. And Kumasi and Santi Kotoko, the FA Cup holders of the just ended season as well. So there's like a replay of the Super Clash, or the
champion of champions.
The champion of champions,
exactly,
yes.
Exactly.
And then now we have Accra Heart of Oak as well playing against Heart of Lions, who is going to happen at 6 p.m. So we have these top clubs. Yeah, when you look at the Ghana football, you cannot talk about Ghana football without mentioning Accra Heart of Oak. You cannot talk about Ghana football without mentioning Kumasi and Santi Kotoko. These two teams are heavily involved in the Galka Top 4, and they will all be present at the Legon Stadium at UG. That is the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And then they'll be going hammer and tons at it. They'll lock horns. And then we'll see who is going to emerge victorious. So there's it. That's what we have for the Galka Top 4. Now let's go into Heart of Oak and their business as part of participating with in this particular Galka Top 4. Another player that will not be seen in the Galka Top 4 playing for Heart of Oak is Abdulaziz Nuruddin, the midfielder who has been ever present for them. He's not there as well. So what are your thoughts in this particular one?
Nana, it's one of the unfortunate news I've come across. Personally, he's a friend. And he has been one of the fantastic players in our league in general, most especially for his role as a midfielder.
Yeah.
When we're talking about a proper midfielder, Jadad will bear witness to me that his profile is up there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was because of an injury, in fact, a persistent one. He needed to go through surgery and other stuff. But I should say, Heart of Oak didn't manage his situation very well, most especially under Coach Ouattara. I know the ins and outs of the whole situation. But then
tell us.
Not you wait to come with you.
Oh,
David, no. There are certain situations that are personal.
So the club was maybe telling him to play, even though he was injured and clearly needed some support. If that's what we are trying to look at, because that's the only way that the club will have a way to play.
But your question again,
the injury. The club knew that he was injured, yet made him play certain games due to the need for points. And the manager himself, you talked about Coach Ouattara being involved, and that's one of the reasons why his injury may have aggravated.
Before I come to your question, one of the saddest truths is that within that period he got injured, he needed to go through surgery, as I said earlier, and then per the contract agreement, Hartlepool had a part to play, because in rational terms, if you own a player or if a player is under contract for a particular club, the moment the player gets injured, obviously it's the team that bears all the cost. And yes, but in this case, Nkomono Ankosa for the guy to go through that surgery, and at some point it took some of us to solicit for funds. Yes, before he could do those things. But
the same Togbe Afedes, Hearts of Hope.
Yes.
We had to solicit for funds for his player to have a surgery.
It is because
very serious.
It is because misinformation, miscommunication went up there, and so the top hierarchies of Hearts of Hope felt the boy had betrayed them.
No, but he's your player. He's under your books.
And so, won't you allow me to talk?
No, but it's quite enraging when a player that plays for a professional football club like Accra Hearts of Oak, no any other club in Ghana, Accra Hearts of Oak, and is injured, and the media would have to solicit for funds for the players' recovery.
Yes, for the players' recovery. That one, I'm not changing that statement. And it was quite unfortunate how they managed it. Psychologically, Abdul Nuruddin felt that it is not worth dying for such a club. And so, even though he recovered, not up to 100%, but then he could have probably been introduced into house matches. But Coach Ouattara decided not to use the player because the coach felt that boy no enkomobi okodidi didn't help him, in fact, with his role as a head coach. And then to cut the long story short, I knew that because of his inconsistency, he would definitely be exiting Hearts of Oak, most especially under Coach Masudi Dramani. I just wish him the best of luck.
But then why wait till this late in the transfer window to exclude him from the squad?
That one I do not know.
Is it a punishment for the disciplinary reasons that you mentioned?
Maybe it would be the management decision. That one I can't.
Because Nuruddin is a very, very top player.
Yes.
Nana, for this our club side and their transfer issue, and how you might find yourself in a situation where you come and say something here, then it's a different story from the camp. Benito,
I didn't say anything.
No, I'm coming.
Right, I didn't say anything.
You are my brother, so anytime I have to mention it before I say things. For Nuruddin, I also know him very well. Nuruddin and this guy, Manafuma. I know them very well. He's a very nice person. Very, very nice person. Banana, as I said earlier on, these are our club side. Udio Mechia in their transfer now is really bad. He's one of the midfielders. He was very good. He's very, very good when he bought the ball. But it's unfortunate injuries and stuff like this happened to him. But as Benito said, we wish him all the best. And for me, I wasn't surprised about them putting him on transfer, because you could see that Didi Domani Bar and the recruitment Sunday I was at the stadium watching House of Folk versus Lions. And to be frank, for a very long time I saw House of Folk team improve very well in the midfield. It was brilliant, especially with the 4 and 5, Ali Mohammed and how do you call it? My own
Kevin
Kevin
Osesidi.
Osesidi. The pair was brilliant. The only problem was the left back. Ransford, the same other guy, and by Cesar Ransford, you could see it was perfect. So I think new guys has come into the House of Folk team. The new guys has come. They are come to do wonders. For Abdulmanaf Vude, I think he's a player, professional player. He should just put everything behind him and just move forward. The new clubs are in from Division 1 for you should just find time and almost like a week to the transfer window to end. You should just join a good team and make sure say he knows how to play the game and he should just forget about everything and move on. A professional player.
It's very difficult to forget about everything and move on.
That's
Let's go back to the Galka top for a little bit.
Okay.
How was the pairing? And was it that first played against second, third played against four? How was the balloting done? If you can tell us about it.
Actually, with their criteria, it wasn't as though first we play second, and they came up with their own plan just to ensure proper competition and then. To also provide mouth-watering fixtures. But then I still think and believe that irrespective of their criteria, we would enjoy the competition aspect of the Galka top four. Because Galka competition has always been like a pre-season tournament. Well structured and well planned. And let's hope and see that with how Kotoko, after winning the Presidential Cup, they went to South Africa, they won the Toyota Cup, Hearts of Folk winning the Bese Manche Trophy and other stuff, they would produce the needed competition we expected. But there is one thing in connection with this Galka competition. Have you noticed that with all the four clubs participating, namely Kotoko, Hearts of Folk, Heart of Lions, and then Gold Stars, they all have Kumasi Asante Kotoko instinct with their coaches. Heart of Lions, Coach Bashir Ford once coached Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Yes.
Ibiani Gold Stars from Manso once played and coached. Now Karim Zito, he's coaching Kotoko. He has coached House of Folk, and then in fact he played Kotoko too.
And Didi Dramani to the same Kotoko affiliation.
In fact, yes. So
it's Lions.
It's more or less he's the assistant coach. It's more or less like Kotoko Adiano and it's one of the few facts that will make this year's top four an interesting
because
one.
There's a rivalry in every game.
Exactly.
If you look at it from a managerial perspective, interesting one there. Landlord, let's turn our attentions away from that a little bit, and now let's look at what happened over this particular week since we entered. And now the PFA, that we're going to international sports, the PFA have actually done the awards, and then before we go into the awards and then we go into the specifics of that, let's talk about Newcastle United and Alexander Isak. And there were some instances where the player came out to give a statement, and then the club has rebutted and saying that we'll have the statement on the screen shortly. But let's talk about transfers in general. If a player does not want to play for a club anymore, although he's under contract, what are some of the steps, or what are some of the stages that they are supposed to go, whether promises are fulfilled or not?
Situations like this, it boils down to one thing: proper management. In this case, let's use Alexander Isak's situation for as a case study. It is up to the player's agency and, if possible, the player himself, then meeting up with the club managers. In this case, probably the head coach, their psychologist, whosoever that will represent the club. Because the moment you are under contract, you can't force your way out of a club. It can't be done. That is the simple truth. But in a case where a player still thinks that his stay at a particular team has been numbered, has come to an end, there is no way the club can also force a player to stay or play matches for the team. In the wider picture, it will negatively affect the player's development and the team itself. Because this whole situation deals with psychology. And the moment a single player, in this case Alexander Isak, says, I wouldn't want to play for Newcastle anymore. Okay, fine, agreed. you want to force him play as though he is the only important player in the team. How would the other players think? Okay, NMA Joel Linton, I also say that I wouldn't play. Let's see if you will start luring me to stay or not. The moment that idea comes to bear within a team, it causes confusion.
Well, let's look at the statement in particular that is causing the whole brouhaha. Let's look at Newcastle's statement. But Newcastle's statement was a response to Alexander Isak's statement.
Exactly.
So let's have Alexander Isak's statement first, and then we'll go and look at Newcastle's statement. Alexander says, I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League team of the season for 2024-25. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to my teammates and everyone at Newcastle United who have supported me along the way. I'm not at the ceremony tonight. With everything going on, it didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect the way, reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. Now, he says that the reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. This is going to say that he's stopping. He doesn't think he's going to continue with Newcastle United. And this is what he's saying. That's where things are for me right now. And my change is in the best interest of everyone, not just myself, Alexander Isak. And this is what he said.
Yes, and the issue is getting more intense. Because about a week ago, he signed this court thing that Eddie Howe shouldn't come closer to him within 500 meters range. Being the head coach.
So a restraining order.
Exactly. That's the technical way.
Yeah.
And so how can a coach and a player be in the same team, yet one shouldn't come closer to the person within 500 meters range? It saves it all. The whole situation is that the boy doesn't want to play for Newcastle anymore. That is it. So with all these brouhaha, and why I believe in one thing. Just accept Liverpool's bid of, let's say, 100 million.
But Newcastle are saying that the agreement that we had with you was 120 million. It was if a substantive order or a bid came for you.
Okay.
And Newcastle made their stance clear. They said, what we see as a substantive bid is 150 million pounds. If you can get a deal within that particular region, including add-ons, we are going to say, yes, we agree with you. But Alexander Isak is also trying to tell Liverpool that I agreed with them for a substantive offer. A substantive offer, 120 million, which Liverpool are prepared to bid. For me, that's Alexander Isak. Yeah. Looking at my performances, looking at my age, looking at everything, I think that should be enough to let me go. But Newcastle are saying that, no, we want extra money for you because we know the talent that you have and we know how important you are to our team. So that's what they are trying to say. Let's look at Newcastle's response and before we get landlord's comments on there. Newcastle also responded to this particular statement. They said that we are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. That was last night. We are clear in response that Alex remains under contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. We want to keep our best players, but we also understand players have their own wishes and we listen to their views. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team, and our supporters in all decisions, and we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired. We do not foresee those conditions being met. This is a proud football club with proud traditions, and we strive to retain our family feel. Alex remains part of our family and will be welcomed back when he's ready to rejoin his teammates. So they are saying, if you ball for your pocket inside. No, what we are trying to say is that.
But for Tintino doesn't change the situation.
No, but listen to what the fourth.
I understand. I
what the fourth
understand
paragraph said.
Yes, I understand your response.
The fourth paragraph said the conditions for sale have not transpired.
I
So they may have had an agreement with you, with your representative.
Sure.
Right? Because if you look at it, technically speaking, they've not had an agreement with Alexander Isak,
exactly.
but they've had an agreement with his representatives. Maybe because when you look at the terms that they
in
have,
legal terms, that is how it should be.
So what they are saying is the conditions. That was the perfect scenario. They are saying that the conditions for sale have not been met.
Exactly.
The conditions for sale have not been met. So if there was an agreement with you, not for you to leave this summer, he said there was no agreement for you to leave this summer. Maybe the agreement for you to leave was when a substantive offer comes.
Exactly.
But not necessarily this summer. But you are saying that you want to leave this summer. If that's the case, then fine, you can leave when a substantive offer comes. What do we see as a substantive offer? What we are seeing as a substantive offer is 150 million British pounds. That is including add-ons. Landlord, what is your take on this matter?
I'm very sad for Isak because he's a favorite player. He was the reason why I got a Newcastle jersey last season. But I'm not surprised how Newcastle are doing that because women will say the guy is good and they can make money out of him. So that's why they are stressing Newcastle, Liverpool, and the guy like that. If you read the tweet from Isak, he said trust has been broken, which is for a player like him. He's saying that when players are forcing themselves out from a team to go to another team, it's a very serious issue because one, he has desire to play for the team that is forcing himself out to play for, Liverpool. We all saw Liverpool and Barcelona when Philippe Coutinho was also leaving the same thing. So Nana, but one thing I will say that the tweet from Newcastle is good. The last paragraph, I think I love the last paragraph very well.
Prodigal son, you can return home.
Yeah, I love it. Nana, I love the last paragraph very well.
It's a loving one.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about team conditioning. Assuming without admitting that after all these instances, after all these back and forth, Alexander Isak joins Newcastle. Just imagine the atmosphere.
So that means the coach, for one, will not be there. He would have to stand somewhere in the stands.
That is my point.
For 500 meters away
from him.
They're going to be admitted.
Yes.
But then I'm sure that restraining order can be cancelled when things are settled amicably. But other people are saying for the team's condition, for the team's welfare, psychologically and all that, no player is bigger than a club, as they've been saying.
For that one,
no one player. At a point in time when Barcelona had some fracas with Lionel Messi concerning some arrangements, you realize that Lionel Messi left. Barcelona was still Barcelona, and they've had a new star emerging, Lamine Yamal and all that. So no player is bigger than a club. Seeing this, the teammates of Alexander Isak, I've heard the captain Jamal Lascelles, he's actually talking to the players and saying that nobody should mind Isak. They shouldn't text him to find out how he's doing, to come back, beg him to come back to the team. It's as though they are on the war front. They needed your help. This weekend, Newcastle United played in a goalless draw
against Aston Villa.
If Isak were to be in that team, maybe the situations or the conditions would have been different because we all know about his goal scoring and assists giving prowess. But that's not the case. So
that is why I still believe that they should just forget about conditions and then promises, because it's as though these two parties, they all have their differences. It is time to just come to a consensus agreement that after all these terms and conditions, this is one thing we should agree on. And Nana, at this point in time, it's only Liverpool that has shown official interest in Alexander Isak and even willing to pay as much as 120 million. So with a difference, Jack, let him go for 120 million pounds. You can get as many as 3 or 4 players out of that 120. I know that Brentford Jan Wissa is valued around 40 million. You can get him. He has that skill set. He can replace Alexander Isak perfectly. But let him go.
In that case, you need about 2 players to replace him. Look at amount of goals he scored this season and all that. Jan Wissa is a very good player.
Sure.
Not to downplay his efforts and his personality. But Alexander Isak is Alexander Isak.
I understand. But then, if Leo Messi hadn't left Barca, we might have not seen Lamine Yamal.
That's true.
You see my point? So at this point in time, it shouldn't be like Isak wants to portray or live as if he's bigger than Newcastle. It shouldn't also be like Newcastle wants to show Isak that we are Newcastle and no. The moment I think gets into football, it tends to be something else. Just accept Liverpool's 120 million. Let him go. Use that money. Do accurate purchases so that in going forward, everyone would understand and that score would be settled once and for all.
Yes.
Because with all these instances, there is no way Isak will have that fertile ground to produce quality as we've seen him over the period of years. Let's assume that Newcastle and Isak's representatives settle this score. Isak returns to Newcastle. You know the consequences of it. That is one thing I want them to avoid. If the guy wants to leave in peace, let him leave. That's all.
Not in pieces.
Not in pieces. Yes, thank you, my brother. And yes, sir, somewhere on that kind of quality we saw in him last season, it wouldn't be seen.
But another stance is that they are probably looking at the player in terms of the kind of maximum value they can milk out of him, irrespective of this.
Yes, he is now the cash cow for Newcastle. No two ways about that. But at this point in time, I don't believe that Liverpool will just cough out 150 million for Alexander Isak. No. At this point, Liverpool will not do that series. After buying Florian Wirtz a little over 100 million, after getting Hugo Ekitike, Milos Kerkez, after spending like 200 million pounds in a transfer window, almost 150. I do not see Liverpool doing that business. But then I still hold my peace and my assertions remain unchanged. That if I am part of Newcastle's managers, Charlie, let's accept 120 million. Get like 2 or 3 players out of that money for a better team conditioning. I've been closer to teams and I understand how these things are. Perfect instance. Let's say after Justice Blaze interviews on the happenings within the Kotoko setup, let him know we still need him. He is back to the team. What would have happened? Tsunami, disaster, pa. Even a Newcastle for the best of me.
Very interesting submissions there. Alexander is like the cash cow for Newcastle United. And you know the PFA Awards also was actually mentioned or done the other time. But we'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, Real Madrid played yesterday against Osasuna. We're expecting a lot of goals in that particular fixture. But if you're expecting that, like myself, unfortunately, you would have been disappointed. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we do have more for you. Don't go. their counterpart Osasuna. We all thought that Real Madrid were going to run hammer and thorns at it, looking at the kind of setup that they have, looking at the kind of players that they have in their team. But it wasn't quite an easy one. It was a penalty that some people call controversial, but as we could see over there, his trailing leg was clearly hit by the opponent. And we told you that we'll go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have a surprise for you. And surprise, surprise, we have Banty B with us in the stadium, in the studio, I should say. If you know that, if you know or you remember clearly that whenever we are talking about Real Madrid issues, we are talking about Liverpool issues, we have someone bringing us live footages from that particular place. We have Banty B, who lives very close to Anfield, visiting us in our studio. Our international correspondent from Anfield, he's here with us. Banty, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
Nice one. Banty B is here with us, and he'll be helping us to dissect and digress a lot of the issues that we are talking about when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. He lives very close to Anfield, and he's been giving us footages. I remember when we talked about the parade incident that happened at Liverpool, and then the car crash and someone driving into the fans. It was Banty B who gave us the exclusive footages in there, and he's here with us in the studios at the moment. So Banty B, a big welcome to you once again. Nice one. Yes, we also ask that you send us messages on our social media feed, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp number 0500500421. Let me read a couple of the messages that are coming in. This one is saying that champion Benito Kotoko is going to win the Galka top 4. You can mark it on the wall. This is what. Please add your name. The name on this WhatsApp account is Yao Ampofu. I don't know whether it's Yao Ampofu. Anchor that is talking about. But this one is saying that yes. A lot of messages coming in. Let's go on to Facebook as well, and then let's see some of the messages coming up on Clogsports. This one says that good show as always. This is Kwame from Tema. Abigail is also saying that will you guys televise the Black Stars match and win against the Blue Cross? The Black Stars match is quite too soon to talk about at the moment. And this one is also coming from Shaban. Shaban is also saying that this season the Ghana Premier League is coming on fire, and we'll be there to cover it for you. That's what Shaban is also saying. There are a lot of messages coming in there. So it's quite an interesting one. Guys, now let's talk about the PFA team of the season. PFA team of the season. We realized that 2024-2025, the goalkeeping position was actually announced. It was Marcels who played for Nottingham Forest. He had that particular one. And then Virgil van Dijk, Milos Kerkez, and William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes making up the defensive trio. And then in midfield, we had Declan Rice, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister. And then for the forward, we have Mohamed Salah, Alexander Isak, and Chris Wood making up the top three. So I can see that this is a 4-3-3 formation that has been played in there. Mohamed Salah being the Golden Boot winner, Alexander Isak, who played terrifically well, and then Chris Wood. Erling Haaland, we would have thought, would also be in the being a contender for the Golden Boot, but he wasn't in this particular one. It was Chris Wood and then Alexander Isak. Let me have your comments on that. Banty B, would you want to start with us?
You know, good evening. Is it good afternoon?
It's afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
We can say good day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Anytime.
For football, you know, I'm not a fan of football like that one. I follow. I live around
The Anfield Stadium.
Anfield
yes.
and Everton. It's close.
Yes, the
Anfield and
Goodison
Everton.
Stadium.
Stadium.
Yeah.
So I see what goes around. And when I come to Ghana, it's totally different. You know?
Yeah.
One thing I want to add to what we are saying is, I don't know if I should go straight to what the question or...
No, you add it first, because you say you live by the stadium.
Yeah.
We actually have footages of that as well, so we'll be playing that as you're talking.
Yeah, we were talking about the pitches and
the quality
of the pitch. Yeah, the difference is vast. It's vast. Yeah. And Liverpool Everton Stadium me staying there for almost 3 years, what I see there is totally different from what when it comes to Ghana. You know, their seriousness, their cleanliness, and what goes on before the match starts. You know, their bars and the police service, the security service, and yeah. So I think Ghana, we have to. I mean,
up our game.
Yeah, because we are very far, and you also we are very far. You also added something. I think you were saying that it's like we Ghana Blaster is bigger than
the Ghana League.
The Ghana League, which is also something wrong. Yeah, because when you come to the to UK.
Okay. Is that
the worship?
That's Bantibi.
Yes,
Anfield Stadium.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Liverpool Anfield Stadium.
Yeah. This is Anfield Stadium. Then Everton is just.
Goodison is very close to them.
Wow.
Bantibi, you can continue.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. So when you let's say this is Anfield. Yeah. Let's talk about this one.
Okay. Let's talk about Anfield.
This is not this is just holiday. People walking around. But what they do there is they have, you know, you can see, look at the walls.
The wall of champions.
Yeah,
the champions
people
wall.
come there, take pictures.
Pictures, yeah.
We have museums. We have sports shop where people buy their shirts,
jerseys and all that, yeah.
And yes, I bought down and yeah, back home. A
lot of yeah.
Yeah, and always in the police guide you, and yeah, it's so big just like that.
But so Oban also offer Clogsports Stadium. Who compare that to Anfield? The difference me, I think.
Still a difference, you know. Yeah, Abrafu nim said this a pet sikamo.
System age,
yeah.
Where Everton Stadium?
Yeah, where Everton. You see, it was when you one was follow ball inside, but when you have the coach beer, then times.
Yes.
People come there, take pictures, and pay. It's not free. People come, they pay take pictures, and then you can't even enter just like that unless you pay something, you pay a ticket or something.
And
so
that is what they used to take care of the pitch.
So a friend of mine worked there. He's just a cleaner. Yeah, every day, every week he goes to work there. Even whether there is match or no, they clean there always. So the seriousness I'm talking about right here is this. I don't know how Ghana, unless you guys are here, you can brief me. Have we been to stadium before here?
Oh yeah, definitely. We are there.
What's the difference?
Most of the time. But then when you look at that, that's what you're talking about, the safety and security protocols. Before the match actually begins, the number of policemen in stadiums outside the country, when you compare that to the number of police officials or security officials in stadiums in and around the country, is very, very different.
You know, Liverpool is grouped into numbers. Like the stadium is L4.
L4, yes.
Everton is L4. We have L5, L6, L7. So the stadium is located at L4. So I'm talking right now. Right now, what I'm saying is
about L4.
Yeah. Before March, 3 hours before March, most of the roads leading to the stadium will be closed. And you see policemen standing there. And we, the residents, our problem is parking. We can't even get
a place
where
to
park. Go to our houses. It's something serious. It's something serious. And you know, the footballers, they normally comes in a bus, the coach here, where the buses are parked is full of policemen. So some of the policemen are working in the city without seeing what is going on in the stadium. Around the stadium is full of police and then police motors and police bikes. Then let's come to the entertainment side. You know, around the stadium, a lot of bars and drinking sport.
I'm sure landlord and Benito will really enjoy being in.
In fact, we are enjoying all the convo around it. Not only the aspect of
a lot of bars.
You know, we not but we really enjoy entertainment. You should enjoy life.
Especially with the loyalty brothers.
Yes, with my loyalty. But we really enjoy life, and so I still think and believe that if by chance you invite us to visit the
sure.
Now the alcohol, why?
For sure.
Say when you do
I heard it, bro. The obvious, you guys are bro no musa. The idea etimi eyi na DP e ma me hu so mo de nsa dware e yesa de.
Yeah, nsan ye ka.
Chilling no e yesa. I know how they work. Okay,
no, we are talking about the entertainment aspect of.
Yeah. You see the flags and the just say no nko aye obi adwuma oye. Ah, what the share the yire ne ba onye adwuma bia because serious say obronika say oye Liverpool fan or person nya from head to toe ni bia
Liverpool bia
e buy ya obeto and one thing I've noticed is on per day bia say ma on fan say level only £2,000. That's how yeah.
That is their mentality.
That is how
they say Kroma just here 300 girls.
They worship football. They worship football. And all the noises, ole, I can't sleep unless they finish the match. Because the speakers are around the stadium outside there, and we hear it always. That's where
And then the ice nash.
Anyway, if you have to go in, I'm sure we are not going to get done anytime soon. But let's quickly get into it and look at the PFA team of the season. We were talking about it. Benito, I want to have your comments there. We have 3 Liverpool players, 3 Arsenal players. Those are the maximum.
2 from Nottingham Forest.
2 from Nottingham Forest.
I think that what made these players enter, that is from Nottingham Forest, it would probably be their surprises in their league. And basically, such awards or such glories comes by voting. So the moment you are so popular and then you have a lot of masses following you, it's obvious that you can just be named. My only problem was Milos Kerke's involvement. I would have preferred Marco Cuyela because within last season's Premier League, Marco Cuyela, to me, performed very well, much more than Milos Kerkez.
That's very, very dicey to talk about because Milos Kerkez created one of the most chances for a defender, gave the most assists also as a defender in the Premier League. Not the most, but one of the most. So it's very dicey. For consistency, looking at the fact that and maybe other competitions, then maybe Marco Cuyela can come into contention.
That was why I said to me. So it's matters of opinion.
Yes,
I wouldn't begrudge you, but all in all, I still think that these Arsenal players, they deserved it. And since 2023, we've had William Saliba being named in the PFA Team of the Year for a consistent period of 3 years in a row. Yes, and I should commend him. This time it was him, Micah Hayes, Declan Rice, and of course they are the only Arsenal players in there. Man City would probably be disappointed because in the year under review, generally their campaign wasn't the best of one for Manchester City. So, with the exception of the Marco Cuyela situation, I think that anyone on the PFA, guys, they deserved it.
Landlord.
And I think it was a very good one for Arsenal and Liverpool and Nottingham Forest to. I see, how do you call it? 3 of my favorite players in there: Salah, Isak, and Declan Rice. These are one of the 3 favorite players I have in England, and it's a very good call for them, especially Salah being an African player and winning the PFA award and 3 times. It has never happened in the history of African football. So. Salah, good work done. And for me, I was surprised not seeing Haaland inside. I think Haaland was supposed to be there ahead of Chris Wood, but as Benito said, it was a board that voted and those kind of stuff. So I think for 2 players, I was surprised seeing them, McAllister and Chris Wood. I was really, really surprised about, how do you call it, the people that I saw. But now, Van Dijk, quick one on Van Dijk. I think one legend said something. The caliber of players that Van Dijk is playing in England, that's why he's the best defender in England. Because we saw what happened against Bournemouth when Semenyo was coming with the ball.
Yeah.
We saw that, if you guys saw that picture. So I think I agree with that legend 100%. The caliber of players Van Dijk is playing in England, that's why we see him as the best player. If we were having the likes of Drogba, Lampard, we win around that. We will not even call him. Look at what happened to him at the World Cup. when he met the gurus at the World Cup. Look at what happened to him. So now I think he's a very good player, but you're hyping at Che. It's like Jewel. We all say Jewel is our best striker because some of our players are injured. Now we always say Jewel is our best striker. So I think all the same, kudos to Salah for winning. I'll be very happy again for next year. So Sabi winning because he's an African. But next year, I'm sure Semenyo. Last week Friday, I said it on our show that Semenyo will be scoring, and he scored 2 goals. Aside the racist abuse, it was unfortunate that I predicted draw, but Liverpool won. But
the draw happened for up to some extent until them too late.
But this time around, our African players and especially the Ghanaian players, they are in for business. Kudus and Semenyo, let's watch out for them in the English Premier League.
Talking about that, let's run through the Premier League team of the week that we have. We had in goal, we had David Raya for his heroics against Manchester United.
Perfect.
I'm sure that the image will be on there shortly. And at right back, Ola Aina, the Nottingham Forest right back, played in there. Daniel Ballard for Sunderland had a rating of 9.22. Daniel Ballard, if you watched him, he grew up he plays for the Northern Ireland national team, but he grew up in England. And Virgil van Dijk also 7.89. Gudmundsson was there as the left back for Leeds United for their 1-0 win on Monday night against Everton. And we had Mohamed Kudus as the right winger, Pape Matasar, 8.40. Nico Gonzalez, Manchester City, is finally finding his feet in the team of the season. And the team of the week, that is Cody Gakpo, was there as well. Richarlison and Chris Wood. If I can actually mention, I can see maybe, should I say, 2 Ghanaian related players in there, over there. That is Mohamed Kudus and then Cody Gakpo. If I can say it that way.
I think it's a good call. But Kudus is the 3rd highest rating over there. We have 9.2, 9.22 and 9.20, and Kudus is next 8.65. Yeah, so I think, and I'm surprised I didn't see Semenyo inside. He scored 2 goals over the weekend. So what happened?
Chris Wood also scored the same amount. Richarlison also scored the same amount, but their teams won and Semenyo's team did not win. So that actually guarantees them extra points.
Thank you.
When it comes to that. Manti B, do you have any comment on this particular one?
It's good, man.
It's good. Okay.
Good, yeah.
All right. So all too soon we are actually coming to an end of this particular show. I want to actually take your last comments. And okay, now let's before we actually go on, let's talk about the PFA awards. We talked about the team of the season, and now the PFA awards. The player of the season has actually been brought out, and guess who? Drum roll! It was Mohamed Salah who won the Premier League Player of the Year award for 2024-2024, and then we have Championship Player of the Year award as well, going to James Trafford.